Welcome to episode 9 of La Vida Entre Primas, Life Between Cousins, the podcast where we dive into everything from the ups and downs of love and life to the special bond we share as Latinas and cousins. In today's episode, we have some very special guests.
Our moms! I beat the drum, sorry.
I know.
Yay.
That wasn't planned.
We're so excited. We have our moms here today. And like we promised, we actually got a little bit turned around. The Dodgers.
Yeah.
The Dodgers threw off our schedule a little bit. We had to go and we had to watch the games. Even me, yes, hater of all time, had to watch the games. It was very exciting.
No, you don't hate the Dodgers.
I don't hate the Dodgers.
It's because you said you don't like them so much that you feel like you have to hate them.
Yes, I don't want Dodger Stadium.
There you go. Perfect.
Clarifying. Anyway, we had to watch the game, so it kind of threw off our schedule. So we wanted to circle back with spooky season. We love spooky season. We love scary stuff. I love
spooky season.
I love spooky season.
Not so much.
I love spooky season. And so we had briefly mentioned on one of the earlier podcasts that our moms shared a special spooky bond. Ooh. And we promised that they would come on to share their story. So they're here. So we'll start by doing a little bit of an intro. Do you want to introduce your mama?
Yeah, sure. Sitting to my left, though you can't see her, is my mom of 41 years. I was supposed to introduce her. She worked in Catholic schools my entire life growing up.
I was just going to say,
my
mom's here.
Oh,
hey, Mom.
I didn't know we were here.
I was going to say, I came from her womb.
I know. That was a little much. So yeah, my mom's sitting to my left. She's here. Welcome.
Thank you. I'm here.
Super happy to have
Hey,
you
Steph,
here.
you want to introduce your mom?
Here's my mom. She threw out the first pitch at the Dodger game.
I'm still signing up. That's why the mound was.
Seriously, that's why they won.
Uh-huh.
My mom, Terry, is here. We're super excited to have her. Also, Maria Teresa, also known as Terry.
Oh, I guess I didn't say it. My mom is Maria Eugenia, also known as Hoons, Jeannie, take your pick.
For those of you who say we're not Latina enough. We got Maria Teresa, Maria Eugenia here.
My mom did say that she gave us all beautiful names.
She did.
Maria Teresa, para que salgan con Terry. Y Maria Eugenia, para que salgan con Ginny.
Uh-huh. Listen. I love it. Okay, so let's just jump right in. We want to have them share their spooky stories like we promised. This is going to be a continuation of spooky season. So we want them to share their story. So if you haven't listened, you wouldn't know, but so I'll give you a little bit of a background. My mom and her siblings, our moms and their siblings grew up in Lincoln Heights, which is 10 minutes east of downtown.
Yeah.
Yeah. And my grandma's house. Why don't you guys describe grandma's house? The back. And
Actually, Lincoln Heights, Happy Valley. Woo woo. Okay. So Mom's house originated as a duplex. And then our parents bought one duplex, then bought the other duplex, and it made a huge house. It was actually the biggest house on the block.
It still is.
It still is the biggest house on the block. And it was, till this day, there's lots of happy memories there. It was a house, because it was a duplex. The beauty of it is we could run around. We could literally run circles in that house because the two doors that connected the duplexes were taken down. So it was cool, and it still is cool. We can't run around it, can we?
U-shape.
No, it's U-shape. Yeah. But cool house. And then it got renovated in 2003. One. It is one.
End of one.
Oh, 2001. Yeah, got renovated. Beautiful house. But the old house was the old house.
Yeah.
My mom used to joke about who needs air conditioning. She'd tell us open up the air conditioner, or she'd say turn on the air conditioner, and we'd open up the kitchen door. That was the air conditioner.
Yeah, the heater was the stove.
The heater was the stove. But along with the house came wonderful neighbors. the neighbors that were there for the last 60 years were the same neighbors until probably about 5 years ago, 6 years ago. But the neighbors to each side of the house were same neighbors we grew up with.
What does the back look like the backyard?
Today,
No, before. What did it look like
before? Dirt and grass, and then there's a big hill right behind the house. Well, you can park your cars there, but further back there's a big hill known as Flat Tops.
mm-hmm.
There's a radio station up there at one point,
Mhm.
Oh, yeah.
and there's trees and dirt and a lot of wild growing plants.
Yeah, but it gets foggy and
Mhm.
dark,
Yeah.
and it's
There's no lights in there.
coyotes.
There's no
There's
lights.
coyotes. Yeah,
A little
yeah.
spooky. A little
Yeah, it's
spooky.
pretty spooky, and there's not a whole lot of lights up in that street.
No, and for being
so it's
in
pretty dark.
a very urban area, it's pretty like desolate up there. It's
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's the closest you would get to like wild. What would you call it? Like a
Mountain living?
Like,
no,
Mountain living.
but like
Mountain
it's the closest you would like. There's no uninhabited green
Yeah.
area except for that hill and some of the hills in Long.
I mean, and that hill caught on
Longitude
fire so many times when we were there.
Yeah, and they would burn it. So it's a little spooky. It's a little spooky.
for sure.
So I'm going to tell you how I came across the story, and then you guys can share the story. I remember a long time ago when we were younger, somebody talking to our moms about this story about and we were little.
Okay.
So I remember them being like, we don't like. I could tell they didn't want to talk about it in front of us, and I didn't know why. But they were kind of like, "Oh yeah, like hush hush about it." Then later, I think they told us the story, and I was like, "Oh, they didn't want us to be scared."
Because we were scared.
We were scared.
You were
We
scared,
were
or you're
scared.
still scared?
I'm still scared.
Okay, so
It was freaky.
paint a picture. Mind you, like I tell you, this is the middle of an urban area. Cars are all around. It's east of downtown.
Yeah.
It's not it's not the
It's not the middle of nowhere.
backwoods.
It's
No.
not
And
like
it
that.
really is the street that takes you up to so many more homes.
Mhm.
So there's always
Traffic.
traffic going up
So
there.
paint the picture. Tell us.
So not to sound like a golden girl, but picture this. I don't even know. We were home alone.
How old were you?
I must have been 12, 10.
So I was a little older.
Yeah, I was scared.
You stay home by yourself.
I know, Mom.
Yeah.
We had this conversation before
yeah.
about a good age for kids to stay home.
It's the good old days. Yeah. So I was probably 10 or 12.
Yeah,
Jeannie was older because she's older.
a little older.
And we happened to go to the back. Now, picture this. Lots of dirt. The hill with lots of, some trees. Older looking trees, dry trees, and then hill, two levels of the hill. And to the side, the neighbor's house, 2 houses down, there was like a little, almost like a cliff, a little one, not you were going to jump off and die, but there was a little cliff. And we come outside, and
What time was it?
it was dusk.
Right.
It was dusk. It wasn't
It's getting
light.
worse and worse.
It wasn't
Really?
light. Listen,
Chills.
it wasn't light. It wasn't pitch dark, but it was dusk, and
But you could see the hill.
you could see the hill. And as I looked to the left,
I don't know what made us go back there. First,
I didn't
of
know
all.
what made us go back there either. We didn't hear anything.
I never would step outside if I was at home.
Home alone?
It was freaky.
No.
Not that my mom ever left me home alone. Like,
No.
grandma was always there.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, like, I was afraid to go out back. Like, even if
And
grandma
then
was
you
like,
go
go
outside, you
to
have
the
to run in
trash.
because you're scared.
Well,
You run in and slam the door.
Well, look,
We're good.
when my daughter was small, speaking of dirt in the back, because we used to have grass, but then it was all dirt. I remember her coming home one day saying, "There's a chasm in the back of Nana's house."
Oh, wow.
Chasm.
Just kidding.
Because it was
What's a chasm?
it was
I don't know what a chasm is.
a crack
Oh,
crack
never
where
said
the
my
dirt-
My dad's fault.
where the dirt was opening up. It was weird. So it is spooky, but we don't know why we went back there. We went to the door and looked to the left, and there appeared a woman in a light colored flowy dress. She was
And it was a
standing-
little breezy.
It was a little breezy. So
I'm by myself now.
her hair was flowing.
Long
Her dress was you can see it flowing in the wind, and we're like, oh my God, what is that? What is that?
And
What
I
is
think
that?
What would she be
I
doing
I
there?
think there was a dog
I was gonna
next
say
to her.
that was the next thing. There was a very well behaved dog, just sat there.
It was a ghost. Hello.
It wasn't a real dog.
dog.
I don't know, but she looked real.
She
real
looked
to
real.
us.
Yeah.
And then I remember running in the house. Yeah, I don't know where Jeannie was. I left her. I was like, I'm going.
I was
in.
right behind you.
But then we went back out, and she was still there, and it was just like eerie. It was eerie. There were no sounds. The dog just sat there next to her, and then we really didn't grow up with La Llorona too much. Just La Mano Negra. Right.
Oh,
La
that's
Mano
another
Negra.
story.
It's a whole other story. Our uncle did. But anyway,
That's another story.
Wow.
but anyhow, we went back. We went back out, and she was still there. And then it was like, screw this. We went back in.
And she was
shut
still
the
there
door.
when you went
She
out?
was still there.
Yeah.
Shut the door, and
You didn't call your
I'm
house
not,
to go look?
nobody was there. It was
Nobody
just
was
it
there.
was just us
Two of you.
Yeah.
It was just us two. Yeah.
Kids.
I don't know. They all left us there. I don't know where
High
everybody
school
was at.
stuff. I don't know.
We go back out, for a third time. I was more curious. Jeannie was more scared.
I was like,
Jeannie was scared. Sissy Lala.
I'm still
She was scared of Thunder and Lightning.
Okay, so I go
said,
back
"Sorry,
out
Mom."
there and said, so I have to figure out what this is. I go back out there, gone. Didn't see her walk away, didn't hear the flipping dog bark. Nothing. Nothing.
Oh, we're good. She said flipping.
I know,
We're
yeah.
good. We're
No,
12
you're
minutes.
good. You're good.
Nothing.
Oh, I hate
Nothing.
that.
I think Jeannie cried. No.
I would have
Probably.
cried.
Probably.
Nana's backyard is
It's
scary. And
Yeah.
it's dark.
Scary.
So I can't even imagine. Lisa threw out her back that one time. Okay, you guys all went to Mark's wedding.
Oh, yeah.
And we were out there and we were sitting in chairs and we thought we heard a coyote. And she jumped up so fast because it was so scary.
Uh-huh.
And she was fine. The next day she's like, help! Help! And I'm laying in the bed. She threw her back out. Because it's scary back there.
Yeah, it's because someone scared you guys.
No, Marty came over and saved us. I don't know what
Saved
saved
you?
you. We're like, oh, we're safe now.
Well, I
But
gotta
it's
tell
really
you.
scary.
Yeah, it is.
scary.
And if you stand at the back of the door right now and you look to the right, 2 houses down, I swear I always saw somebody looking at me standing over there. It was weird. It was really weird. Now when I tell the story, I think we're a bunch of
I know.
pussies because it's really not that scary. But I don't
know.
know.
That would be
It's
scary.
pretty scary.
At the time,
I
man.
still have
At
a
the
hard
time, it was
time.
scary. And then people would say, it's not true. You didn't
I
see
know
anything.
nobody believed us.
We did.
But
Two
I-
people saw.
Yeah.
But I will
You're the
tell you,
witness.
every time I'd walk out the door, I would do one of these. I would look around. I would scan my little cliff. I would like anybody out here because
And you never saw anything again.
Nope,
Never again.
nope. So weird.
Remind me to park in the front from now on. I may never get my car out of the driveway anyways, but just never park in the back again. That's my baby.
It was pretty spooky though.
That is
You know,
scary.
for a 10, 12-year-old and
But like she said, we didn't grow up. My mother didn't scare us with the La Llorona.
no, but
She
that was
didn't
the
even tell us the story.
right. But that was one of the first things that we did think of. Like later on, we're like, well,
Till the Roja scared us.
The Roja scared us and said, la fregada Llorona y ustedes. And we're like, oh my God.
I mean, listen, Marty always told us, did you know she lives on flat tops, La Llorona? That's why I would always go outside and get scared and run back in.
Yeah.
So, listen, I hate that story. I mean, I don't like it. I'm already scared of Marsha's backyard. I'm not in the
I know.
backyard. But thanks for sharing. I know you have another story.
But
If you'd
I'm
like
gonna
to-
let Jeannie go because she's.
Okay. We'll come back because
Yeah.
we have a little like
Oh.
we'll share some we'll share some scary but silly stories in a bit.
Yeah.
But you have a really good one. And this one also freaks me out.
I call
It
bullshit.
still freaks me out.
No.
No. I got one living person
Another witness.
a witness to what happened.
A credible witness.
A
Law
credible,
enforcement,
yes,
if you will.
yes.
And she called for backup.
And
Like,
I
can you
called
remind me?
him for details to make sure I got the story right
You got your notes ready to go?
in my head.
Oh, shit.
So this was way back, 1974.
I graduated from high school in
Yes.
74.
And I was with my cousin Renato. Well, first of all, back up a little bit. Renee and myself went to Nogales because Renee was going to move to Washington, D.C.
In the little orange Toyota.
And his little orange Toyota. And he wanted to go to Nogales and see mi tia Malita, mi tia, all my aunts and uncles before he went back to D.C. So it happened that Renato's dad, mi tío Renato, was in LA in San Pedro with some business of his restaurant. So
He
he
had a restaurant? I'm sorry to interrupt.
I didn't know.
yeah, Nogales,
He used to go get fish from La Paz, LA.
So then you say bread from across the line. I was like, yeah, you did.
Beans.
Ooh,
Girl.
but you know, the
Sorry.
Chinese story is very important. But Tío Renato's chimichangas were the best.
I never had
And Loreñas.
At Loreñas were the best chimichangas.
That was the name of the
Loreñas was the name of.
Was
yeah.
it named after his daughter?
Yeah.
Or-
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
It was right by Tia Wolf's house across that main street.
We're the cross from Dobleto.
Yes, yes.
Whole other story. Sorry.
Oh,
In this case, they're taking over La Vida Entre Primas.
I know.
One
La
day.
vida entre hermanos.
Sorry. That was a whole
Wait,
other
is it
story.
the one that was right next to Tia Wolf's house that
Yeah.
you used to let me go get french fries from?
No,
Oh, okay.
across the main little street.
Okay, go on.
Anyway.
Carry on.
Anyway, so the plan was we're gonna bring Renatito, my cousin Renatito, back to LA to help his dad drive back to Nogales. So we had a great time visiting family, and then it's time to go. And the little orange Toyota, Renato says, I'm going with you guys. I said, okay, let's go. So the three of us, it was Renee, Renatito, and myself. So we're driving. Renee wanted to stop in Old Tucson, the scary part of Old Tucson. So we went, we took pictures and laughed, and we drove back at night, late at night. Excuse me. So we went to Old Tucson, took pictures, and then we left. We got on Interstate 10 between Phoenix and Quartzsite.
Okay.
If you've ever driven to Nogales on the 10, it's very
Desolate.
desolate. No lights. And back in 74, I imagine there was not gas stations and stuff on the
right.
road. There was nothing.
That wasn't fast food.
No.
How scary though to get
No,
a
we took our
flat or
snacks.
myself
We took
there.
our bread with beans.
Okay.
So we're driving between Phoenix and Quartzsite, and all of a sudden we saw this blue round cylinder. I called it an alien ship. I don't know. It was a round
AKA UFO.
UFO above our car, following us, hovering over us, hovering. And we all looked at each other like, what the hell? Can I say hell?
You can't.
Yeah.
What the hell? Like, we all looked at each other and we were like scared. I was
You probably were right.
really crying. And we stopped.
How old were you guys? More or less.
She was
74. She was 18, so about 20. So early
I was
20s.
about 20.
Yeah.
I was about 20.
And she was crying.
I would have cried.
Renee
too.
was like 25 and
Okay.
Renato was
Yeah.
your age. 18.
My age, yeah.
Yeah. So we stopped. Renee just stops in the middle of the road. There's like no cars. We're the only car on this highway. And he stops and I'm like, don't stop. Don't stop. Keep going. I didn't want I'm stopping. He stopped and he got out.
Why would he get out?
This
Because
reminds-
it's Renee.
This reminds me of the commercial. Like, can we get the vehicle?
Yes, let's run towards the
So
axis.
he got out and then the light was there and a couple minutes later disappeared. So then I got out. Renato has a picture. I'm hoping he's going to send it to us.
Oh.
A picture of me standing by the
That's why I
orange
get him on the
Toyota.
phone.
Oh yeah, by the orange Toyota, famous orange Toyota of Renee's. And then it was gone. We drove speechless the rest of the way to LA. We didn't know what to think,
You never saw it again after that.
never saw it
You could
again.
have been abducted.
I know.
Was it silver? Was it light?
It was blue. It was round,
Like
round, like they can see the blue.
Yeah.
A round cylinder blue object hovering
How big
above
was
us.
And this was before drones, ladies.
And
Yes.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I'm just saying, it was
I
not
think
a
enough
drone.
to swallow the orange Toyota.
Yeah.
Big enough.
Wow. That is so scary.
Yes, it was scary. And Renato, we were laughing because I had to call him and get the details because I wanted to make sure I got everything. He reminded me it was between Phoenix and Quartzsite. And he says every time he tells friends about it, they think he's crazy.
Well, go ahead.
And so he said he told his wife, his wife knows the story, but when they came to Disneyland last week, he told her, this is where we saw. Right here, and she says, keep going. But yeah, people don't believe either one of us, but
Well, I'm going to tell you.
again, it was 2.
Well, and I was 3, and I was gonna
3.
say I didn't know because our uncle Renee passed away when we were young in our early 20s, and he lived on the East Coast, so we didn't know him as well.
I'm only 18.
I'm older than you, in my early 20s.
You were 19.
Okay,
You're only a year older than me.
okay, in our late teens.
Speaking of, happy birthday.
Thank you.
Just
Yay.
kidding.
Happy
birthday.
He lived on the East Coast, so we didn't know him personally as well as we do our other aunts and uncles. But I do know he was very credible. Like he didn't play no games.
Oh, yeah.
I know
Oh,
that.
no.
Like he was a staunch Democrat. He was, political and a Christian brother.
A Christian
For some
brother.
time.
Very, very smart. Very, a square. Like just I don't know how to say. Just very, very credible.
He was
Credible.
also a very great storyteller. He would
Oh,
have made
yeah.
Genie's story go double the amount.
Yeah.
It could have gone over 2 orange Toyotas.
That's right. So I want to read this to you. Go ahead.
I think Renato would have also made this story.
We need to have him on.
They tell.
You do need that.
Yes,
we need to figure out how to.
Yes, we
I
will.
figured that out just about.
So I want to read this. While you guys were talking, I was looking up Googling this, and I looked up aliens in Quartzsite. Some people in Quartzsite, Arizona have reported seeing mysterious lights in the night sky that have led to speculation about extraterrestrial crafts. Witnesses have described the lights as orbs of brilliance that move with purpose, leaving viewers in awe. Theories about the lights include military aircraft from nearby bases or extraterrestrial crafts. Quartzsite is a small town on the highway that's popular with snowbirds. It's known for the warm weather. Let me see.
What?
But it seems like it's a reoccurring thing. And if you look on YouTube, there's like a ton of like aliens visited by aliens in Quartzsite.
Genie, I believe.
What? And Google never interviewed me.
Dang them. Dang them.
That
It
one
is
is
kinda
really
scary,
scary.
though.
It is
Yeah.
scary.
I keep laughing because my only story from Quartzsite is I got real sick one time driving home from Arizona. I got
Tell
very, very sick.
Where are you driving home?
My ex.
Oh.
I told you about it. We had to stop at the McDonald's and I slept in the parking lot for a little bit because he didn't drive. So thank God. Remember, I got really sick. I was driving from Dodger Spring training, and I got really, really
I do
sick, and I
remember.
literally slept in the parking lot at McDonald's. I could have been taken. I mean,
That blue
well, he would
cylinder.
have been crying.
In the passenger seat.
No, he would have been. You would have been. Take him. Bam. Sorry, that's why I keep yelling because that's what I think of.
Oh my gosh. So I have a question about something scary that may not be scary, but scary. Can you tell us the story of the mouse?
I know that one.
Because this gives
wait.
me the heebie.
Wait,
jeebies.
that was scary to her.
Yes, I need to know
That
that
is very
story.
I think Carrie knows more of the details.
Because you were traumatized.
She left it out.
So if you remember the old house, you go from the living room to the dining room to the kitchen, then to the bathroom. But it was a dark house.
Yeah.
So Marty, especially big sissy of all, she would go. We all would go from the living room to the dining room. My mother would get so mad. Flip on the light in the dining room. flip on the light in the kitchen,
Yeah.
flip on the light in the hallway to go to the bathroom. And Cess was working nights at the railroad. And
It was after my
Union
dad died.
Pacific?
after Union Pacific, after my dad died, mi tia Aurora was at the house. Mi nana
I mean,
Tere,
Nana Tere.
Tio Caliche, I think they had already left. But the Aurora was there. And Jeannie ran to go to the bathroom. I don't think she turned on any
I don't think
lights.
I turned on the light.
But that's why she ran, because she was scared.
Because
You
there's
know,
no
it was like
lights,
it's
yeah.
dark. She ran, and then we hear this big old ah! ¿Quién se mató? My mother was like, "What?" Jeannie came back into the living room, like they can't see me, but she was like, she couldn't talk. She was like, the Aurora was.
I know you can't see, but she's gasping for air.
She's gasping for air.
The Aurora was like, ¿Qué le pasó? Dale agua con azúcar. Yeah, I remember.
Sugar water.
El susto, sugar water. Give her sugar water, del susto. And my mother was like, ¿Qué pasó? She couldn't speak. She couldn't speak.
So they turned the light on.
And then we went and turned the light on, and there was a little mouse.
You
She
can't
landed on the mouse.
She landed on the mouse.
Oh,
It was a,
I know.
well, remember we were in front of the hill, and
Right.
we were little
Oh, yeah.
mountain mice.
Yeah.
I
And
must
it
have
was
felt it.
You-
Because why else would I scream?
You
Why
flipped
would you
it,
jump?
smashed it. That
Yeah.
little mouse
Yeah.
and little blood coming out. Lo aplastó. Dead. Oh, dead. The mouse was dead. So she obviously she was very traumatized. She was scared. Gave her sugar water.
Yeah, I got better.
Then she was hyper. And then Sess was working at the railroad. And when he got home, it was like
Was the mouse still there?
we had napkins over him.
Oh
Nobody
my
picked
God.
it up.
You
Nobody wanted to touch it.
Like a cardboard or something.
No.
No.
We covered it for Seth. He was the man of the house.
Sess was like, that's right. So he came home and that was what he said. Why didn't you pick it up? No. We're trying to revive this one.
Nothing to say. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah. No, yeah, poor little mouse rip.
Yeah.
Rest in peace.
Rest in peace,
Wow.
Bible.
Yeah.
Oh, Fightful.
Five-0.
Oh man.
Distant relative.
Well, that was scary for Jeannie.
That was scary.
It was gross for me.
What about your story? What about your not so scary ended up being a okay story?
You know, I still till this day I get little
We were involved. Yeah, me and
extra
Alma.
beat, you and Alma,
Okay, we were there.
a little extra beat in my heart, just a little bit of
Her mouth was
spit in my
just
mouth.
Her mouth was just watery.
Yes.
Just so you know, my mom is like the master Googleizer. My mom does the eulogy, so she's in her element. She's like,
She's living her best life.
She's like,
She's living her best life.
So again, I don't know why everybody was gone. I want to say it was a funeral, but why wasn't I there?
Because you had to take care of the kids.
Anyway, I had to take care of Alma, Stephanie, and Timothy. And they were in the old room playing. You guys were in the back playing. I was watching TV. And if you remember, my mom, well, the window's still there, but in the living room, the window behind where the phone used to be, so the window behind was always a creepy window to me because it's like sometimes light would come in. And
The one by the
sometimes
front
just-
door?
The
Or
one
the one where
on
the
the
chairs,
side.
where the recliners.
Where the
That's a
recliners.
creepy one.
creepy. Where the recliners at?
The
in Nana's room. I'm sorry.
No,
in
in
the
the
living
living room. Where
Oh,
the recliners
yes,
at.
yes.
And you know what? Now it's not so creepy, but
It's on the
then
side of
it
the
was
house?
like
yeah, sorry.
creepy ass. I was just like, oh
Yeah.
my God. So I'm sitting there watching TV, and back in the days, there was a movie. Look, it makes my mouth water because it scares me. Have You Checked the Children?
Oh God.
With Carol Kane. Till this day, I cannot see any movies with her in it. So the gist of the movie is that she's babysitting and somebody calls and all they say is, have you checked the children?
Oh, dude.
So I'm sitting there and the phone rings and I pick it up and I heard literally, have you checked the children?
No. Who's pranking you?
Click. I know I should hung up the phone. My heart was beating. I thought, oh my God.
Because I was busy changing your diaper.
I was like, oh my God, no. Somebody's playing tricks with me. Just sat there and looked around.
Wait,
And
did you go check on us?
No, I didn't. And then I didn't want to look at the window behind me. It was like just so weird. My palms were sweating. I was sweating. And the phone rang again. I picked it up and I was like, and you picked it up? Oh yeah. Have you checked the children? I hung up so fast. I stood up.
She finally went to check on us.
I was so scared. I stood up. I looked around. I sat down, and I said, "I should go check the kids."
Where were we? Oh, we were in
my room. Judy told her, oh my God. The phone rang again, and I thought, do I go? I was starting to go to my mom's room, and then the phone rang again. And I said, I'm not going to pick it up. I'm not going to pick it up. I'm not going to pick it up. And then I started to go, and the phone rang again. I picked it up, and it was your dad. And he said to me, hey, Carol's trying to get a hold of you.
Oh.
Did Carol call you? And I'm like, it's time, right?
Yeah, that's right.
That bitch, Carol. Oh my God. So I got on, I ran and checked on you guys. And then I came back and I called her and I said, Carol, you know her laughing, right?
Oh, yeah.
She was laughing so hard. She was laughing, and Tommy was like, I told her T not to do that. Because that's a flipping bad move. I told her not to do that. I said, Carol. She said she could not stop laughing. I said, Carol, you made my palms sweat. You made everything sweat. I was so scared. I said, the first 2 calls and I didn't check the kids because I was so scared. I didn't want to go.
Oh my God, that is.
I didn't want to face reality and see what was wrong with the kids.
Oh, no, you could have been dead. You could have been dead. Oh,
She didn't want to be the ones to find us.
till this day, till this day, when I remind her, she's like, "That was so cool." I'm like, "No, that was not cool." Check the movie. Have you checked the children?
I watched it recently. It's scary. And you know what's funny?
I
It's not gory. It's not.
No,
But it's so scary.
it
can stand up to the horror
It's
movies
look.
today because it's.
Have you checked the children?
I've never even watched it, but just you saying that.
Oh my God.
That's hilarious. That's
Now
that's
it's-
like a total Carol move.
Now it's
Yeah.
funny,
Yeah.
but oh man,
I can see Carol.
I thought it was Marty.
Oh, that
I thought
that
I
makes
can
sense
see
too.
Marty.
No, yeah. No, but Dad's like, hey, Carol's trying to get a hold of you. Did she call you? Oh my.
And then it registered.
yeah.
I love it. That's hilarious.
Whew.
That's scary. I mean,
Well, I'm glad it was Carol and not like. You know what would have been more
The
scary
killer.
if she was like at the window.
Oh.
And like,
And then when you're going through that, you hear everything.
oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Especially in that house.
You don't even need, in that house you hear all the creaks.
Woo.
All the noises.
That's a
That
great
was
story.
cute.
That's a great story.
That
was
is a good
cute.
story.
I
That is a good story.
I asked everyone around me if they had scary stories. My dad gave me like a little mini classic one. I think a lot of people talk about. I believe him though. That house was scary. Do you remember the White House we lived on the corner of Griffin and Avenue?
Avenue 31.
Yeah, we
Okay,
had Grandma's
yeah.
like surprise birthday party there.
Yeah.
So it's a big white house.
That
It's a
one
busy
creaked.
area.
That one
It was
creaked
a
a
creepy
lot.
house.
It was
And I have 2 stories about the house. First, I asked my dad, and he said, nothing ever scary has happened to me. My dad's pretty private. I think he's hiding some stories.
I think so too.
But he did say one time, he's like, I swear, he's like, we always drove into the back, came in through the back door. He said, I heard your mom pull up. I heard the door open. I heard the door close. I heard her feet walking in. And I got up and I went to the back. Nobody's there. Nobody's in the house. The door is shut. The car's not in the driveway. But that same story, me and my mom were talking, not just spooky, scary, but like signs and weird things. Was it the Northridge earthquake? So when we were in that house, we had a bunk bed in our room. My mom had her
Red?
room with my dad.
No, ours was red.
Ours was
Yours
red.
are
Yeah,
red?
it's red. But we also had, for some reason, like a spare bed.
Sylmar earthquake. Oh, maybe Northridge. Yeah.
And my mom, the night before is it coming?
I don't know. Sorry, I
Went away?
almost sneezed. Yeah, I went
The
away.
night before that earthquake, she slept in that spare bed in that house. She slept in the spare bed next to our bed, which never did it
Oh.
before.
Oh.
Never did it after.
No.
And then that huge earthquake hit. And she was like right there. We didn't have a flashlight. So we had to use a Game Boy light.
Oh.
But she was there. That's
But
all
she was
that
there.
matters.
Nonetheless, she was there.
But she was there.
Signs, hey, you know.
Very weird. Mother's intuition.
I was about to call her a witch like grandma.
That'll fit too, right?
Listen.
Same.
So we got some stories from some people online. You want to read a couple of them?
Yeah.
And one of them actually was interesting to me based on your story about La Llorona. Here.
What do people say we're not Mexican at house?
I know, right? Look at this one. And then, hold on, you could start. So one of our friends left. This is continued here and here.
So it starts with this one?
Yeah, she works at Kaiser. I think at Kaiser. And hospitals are scary.
Hospitals are scary to begin with. The hospital business office I worked in was previously a nursing home. And I'd sometimes hear clicking on the mouse and the keyboard when no one else was around.
Ooh.
Oh.
Hate it.
Ooh,
Yeah.
that's freaky.
Not my story, but my mom saw a shadow of a very tall man in her pueblo back in Mexico. Another story of my mom's, when she came to the U.S., she lived with the family on Record Street
And you
in
said
East LA. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
One night she woke up to see a lady in a white gown opening the bedroom door.
Ooh.
making the rounds.
Ooh.
She never came close to our door.
Está bien. Duérmanse.
That's scary. Like,
I
I
know.
don't know.
I know. I hate it.
You know what though? Those kind of stories, I swear, there's in my house, through the corner of my eye, I see shadows running. I was like, I want to come back to the
didn't
house.
my tia Tomasa used to say when she stayed with us for a
Yeah.
while that she, I don't know, you
Yeah.
can share. I don't
Yeah,
remember.
yeah. I see every once in a while shadows, and I'll look up. It's like I'm kind of scared, so I'll say, "Hey."
Hey,
And you know,
I'm
my
good.
kids,
I'm
a
good.
couple of my kids will,
You only got 3.
Yes.
not all of them. It's mostly Val and Sophie.
Uh-huh.
When they were little, would walk down to the hall and then run away like they're scared, like they don't want to go down. But not just scared, like I'm scared. Like Chris will say, "It's dark, turn the light on." No, they
Right.
would go like they were scared and then be like,
"There's something there."
They need to
There's
shoot
something there.
more.
Nothing. I'm like, nothing scary at Nana's house. I'm like, yeah.
Until they don't listen to the podcast. Although the kids do have a tendency to not want to go into our kitchen or the kitchen of the apartment.
Yeah, that's true.
They get very scared.
Allison's kids too.
Allison's
You know
kids,
what?
and
It
your
has-
kids too.
the light is a little dim in there. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, I don't know what it is, but they like,
Yeah,
like
that's
no, they're
true.
like, come with me to get a juice or come with me to get whatever because they don't want to step in there.
Interesting.
So I don't know if they see something in there.
I don't see anything.
Keep them away.
Marsha says she hears tapping on the windows at grandma's
Nana?
house or at that house.
In the
Remember
front
she
window.
said- Yeah.
In the front window, I've heard that.
Yeah, I've heard that too.
So my brother shared a story. My brother
Yes.
is,
Loved him.
yeah, he does our music, he does our intro, and he helps us not get canceled by bleeping out our curse words before 20 minutes. But we're good now.
We're good. We're good. We're good.
Because the moms are here.
We're good. So he shared a story. I'm just gonna what is it called? Summarize it. But listen.
You
So
said
he had a-
before. Oh, what?
Whoa.
No.
Tell me.
I mean, you have mentioned before that you guys have smoked weed. So we
This
don't know
was
if you
not
were
one of those
sober
times.
or not.
This was
sober.
not one of those times.
Just
It was not one of those times. He was traveling, so he is in New York. He's part of a band. His bandmate is also from California,
Yeah.
from Sacramento, Rancho Cordova. And so they did a tour, and they ended up at his bandmate's house. I'm not even any names. A while back.
Just throw out last names randomly and then not even
know.
give out bad names.
I know. No.
The guy's name?
Yes.
Okay.
He was at Mike's house.
Okay.
And he and he said that they had come back from a gig and that they were talking and they thought they heard somebody like calling their name, calling Mike's name. And he said that he was counting money, quiet, nobody in the house, and that it's a fancy ghost story. The balsamic vinaigrette cap just flung off and went flying. But he's like, it scared me so bad. I just had to he's like, I just wanted to get out of there. I don't want to sleep here. I don't want to be here. It totally freaked him out. The second part of the story that I really don't want to disclose is they had a death in the family. They had a death in the family shortly after this happened. And if you know my brother, he's a psychedelic motherfucker, okay? He's like, well, time's not real. It could have been that person going back and talking to him and calling him. And I was like, whoa. Okay, listen. And so he's like, I think it was that person going back in time trying to talk to him before he died. And I'm like, okay, too rich for my blood. However, speaking of my brother, I'm so sorry about this, Tim, but I got to put it out there. His near-death experience.
My boy is near death.
I'm doing air quotes, okay? Speaking of scary, this is not paranormal, but it was scary as shit.
Okay.
And when I say psychedelic motherfucker, this is what I'm talking about. In like 2008, I was newly married. We got a series of texts in our family. They sounded, trigger warning, they sounded like suicide texts. Like my brother was like, you've been a great sister to me. I'm so sorry that I haven't, I love you. And I was like, oh my God. Like I laid straight up in bed. I was like, Chris, read this text. This is so weird. I get a call from my mom. My mom's like, oh, did your brother text you? And she's like, it was this like, Mom and Dad, I love you so much. And it's like this heartfelt text. And we're like, uh-oh, like, what's going on? Oh my God, what's happening? Something's happening. Which is like, we had a character. My brother's like a cool guy, a drummer, a happy guy.
That's when he was in Boston.
No, he was here. He was here.
Oh, that's
before
right.
He left.
Oh,
this
that's
is part
right.
of the reason why he left.
That's right.
So we're like, I think we and then we called him. He's not answering.
Oh, God.
We're like,
Right.
he's dead. He did something. He drove off I don't know what happened. We're spinning. We can't even look for him because we don't know where he's at.
Right.
This motherfucker was for a while practicing lucid dreaming. Does anybody know what that is?
No, never have I.
Okay,
ever heard
because
of
you
that.
know.
Because it's him.
Because it's Tim, psychedelic motherfucker. He was lucid dreaming, where it's kind of like the dreamer realizes that you practice and you realize you're in the dream, and you like then can be in your, like when you're in your dream, whatever's happening is happening.
Right.
But you could say, I want to go into my dream and I want to like go buy a watermelon. You intentionally do things.
Why would you do that?
Because he's a psychedelic movie.
Yes. So he was practicing that. He's like, so you do, and he read like a book about it and watched a movie where you like look at a fan and you hypnotize yourself and you fall asleep and you go into your dream.
No, thank you.
Well,
No, thank you.
well, this fool did mushrooms,
Oh,
hypnotized himself to sleep, and thought he died. And so those texts were him telling us how sorry he was or how much he loved us. Then he fell asleep, a deep sleep, a mushroom-induced sleep, if you will. So we were all panicking.
Oh my God.
And then he made up an excuse that like, I was just drinking and I was a little bit too much. And I was like, mother.
Well, can't stick with his excuses anymore. You just put him out on the podcast.
Sorry.
Okay.
But yeah,
Damn.
that's what I know. That's why he gets into all this like time isn't real. And I'm like, listen, I know.
That's weird.
But I personally, my bandwidth for like that kind of stuff, I'll have panic attack.
Oh yeah.
You know when they show that video of the comet hitting Russia?
Yeah.
I can't. I'm like,
Oh,
no,
it's
do a diddy, I can't do that. It's too scary for me.
No, thank you.
But that was scary. It wasn't spooky scary, but it was scary.
Hell yeah.
He's
That
fine.
is
He
scary.
lived. But every
He
time you
lived.
hear us make a reference to his near-death experience, just know that's what we mean.
Sweet. Now I know.
Let me see. Hold on one
Cultural
second.
elements?
Oh yeah, let's hear. Okay, so a little bit about cultural tradition, storytelling, and then we want to hear about whatever non-politically
Non-spooky?
correct thing you guys referenced earlier. Like La Llorona. So as we know, cultural storytelling is a big deal in Latinx, Latino, Latina, whatever you want to call it, culture. La Llorona, El Cucuy. What else?
La mano negra.
No.
Oh, you know what? Hold on. My husband, my husband actually gave me a spooky story.
Oh.
So he told me this a long time ago, and he told me, oh my God, Mom, we missed so much. Okay, hold on. Pump the brakes, coming back to La Llorona. He told me when he was younger, he had braces, but before he had braces, he was, for what I know, his teeth were jacked up. He said he went to the supermarket with his mom, and he was going through the like preteen changes of like being a pain in the butt, and he said this old lady in a wheelchair. She's like, she randomly came up to me and said, "Your teeth are crooked," and he was like, "Yeah," and she's like, "Little kids with crooked teeth are liars," and she was in a wheelchair. And he's like, I got really scared because she was really old and she was like really mean. So she rolled away. If you know my mother-in-law, she's all of 4'11", but she don't play no games. 4'11", no games.
Yeah.
So he's like, my mom was like, where is that old bitch? Went looking for her, gone. The same thing. He's like, she couldn't have rolled out. She couldn't have rolled away. She couldn't even like walk.
Wow.
Spooky.
Yeah, that is spooky.
Also, his dad told us one time about going to Mexico, to a little pueblo, when he was younger, and they would drink and they would have like, you know, a good time, go to little bars. And he went to a town in the middle of nowhere in Mexico. And he said all of his friends were drinking and they're like, take this drink and, you know, whatever, everybody's drinking. And then a horse came out of nowhere. He's like, oh, it's a horse right there. We should go look at the horse. I don't know. So he said that one person got on the horse and he's like, come on, get on the horse. And the next person got on the horse. And then the third person, I bet you thought you knew where this is going. No, get your mind out of the gutter. The third person got on the horse, and then the fourth person and the fifth person, and he's like, people kept getting on the horse, and the horse kept growing, and the horse kept growing. And then they got off the horse. Stop. And the horse ran away. Nobody fucked the horse. Why are you laughing?
I was just thinking the horse with no name.
Because, like,
What?
I was just thinking horse with no
how do
name.
people sit? How do you get 5
It was
people on a
growing.
horse?
The horse was growing. It was like
They
a
were
supernatural horse.
They were moving.
Was
They were
mushroom
moving
in
in his little. Yeah, they were on mushrooms.
Are there mushrooms in Mexico?
Cause just
with everyone that jumped on the horse and he mesh into the horse and make it bigger?
The horse just kept growing. He's like, the horse.
Wow.
kept
dude,
getting
imagine
bigger.
5 of us on the horse. Though.
Osito.
Don't make fun of Ito's story.
I love it though, but like I'm just saying.
Also, me and my mom encountered something supernatural together.
Okay, what did you encounter?
Because people have always told me that, like, not El Sereno, what is it right there? Figueroa and, like,
Highland
Park. Highland Park is like a portal. Have you ever heard that it's like a portal to hell?
No.
Okay. No, it's not El Sereno.
Jeannie's
It's,
not going to
Highland Park.
Highland Park.
She's like, right there by where the Smarting
Cypress Park?
By where Head Start used to be?
Is it Cypress Park?
No, like right there.
By where the pool used to be?
Like by the library where Dad we're
Yeah.
down, like that area.
Oh yeah.
That's what I said, where Head Start used to be.
Yes,
Highland Park.
So yes, I've always heard it's like a portal, and then Chris was like, there was always like Nazis under there. Have you heard that? Like a secret Nazi village underneath.
Really?
It's weird, okay? So one time, me and my mom were driving home from I don't know where, and it was just me and her, and we were going up Griffin, curving to where you curve up Griffin. The 110 freeway is here,
Yeah.
and then you're gonna go towards Figueroa,
Yeah. Yes.
right?
That
So
big
we're
curve.
driving, and this man comes on a bike, and we're at the stop sign, and we go, and he goes right in front of us, and we went, we grabbed each other's hands, like, oh my God, cringe. And then we open our eyes, nobody, no man, no bike, no nothing. We're like, where did he go?
Remember that?
Yes.
Oh, because she's shaking her head
No,
like,
yes.
No,
I don't
said-
know what she's talking
No, I'm
about.
scared. No, I said no.
He was
mine.
right in front of us. We were like, that's so
So
fun.
weird.
I know. Who knows?
I don't think I've ever.
And I did. Me and Chris also saw a UFO in Downey, but I won't go there.
Oh yeah, that I think that had other abilities.
Let me go back. Okay, so just when I forgot those, I looked at my notes. I was like, oh my God.
Those are good ones.
Yeah. You're gonna respect the horse.
I take it back. I respect
Respect
the
the
horse
horse.
that 5 people can get.
So
Sounds so weird to
let's go back. Let's go back to the
them.
family and cultural traditions. La Llorona, El Cucuy. What else? It's a big part of the Mexican culture.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Spooky stories.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mexicans love telling
It's
spooky
because
stories.
no, I think
And
they
why
just
are
like to scare their kids.
El chamuco. What about why are scary stories so much more
Chupacabra.
scary?
Oh,
Chupacabra. Why are scary stories so much scarier though when you're like in Mexico?
Again, why do people think we're not Mexican?
I know.
Why is it scarier when you're in Mexico? Doesn't it feel scarier?
I think because of just like your surrounding, like
You're out of your own environment.
you're not in a place that you're like used to. I don't know.
Familiar
It's
with.
darker. It's
Yeah, it's
scarier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's why. But also, I really just think they like to make fun of us and laugh at us and scare us.
Well, when you say Mexico,
I said Mexico.
Mexico.
So
No, like just like
You mean the praying hands in Tia Malita's house?
Oh, those are creepy. Those are so creepy. They even have like wrinkles. It was very lifelike. They were very lifelike. I just think people just
And I like
You know
to
what's
make
scary
fun of us
too?
and scare us. And what was
that the
scary?
towels wouldn't try me. You know what?
It's a different water.
Yeah. I keep rubbing, but I'm still wet.
They're not absorbing. We all had that problem.
Wow.
But tell us about your mano negra. Or what is it?
You know, I just remember. I remember when we would go to Nogales and everybody would show up and the men would bring musicians and the women, of course, were cooking and the men were drinking. Tio Calichi was barbecuing and then all of a sudden we'd hear La Mano Negra. I'd be like, what? ¿Qué es eso?
Oh, what is it?
I don't know. I just remember that La Mano Negra. We used to have Cesar. Menino Corrado. I remember him saying, and they'd all laugh, and I'd say,
What's the joke? I want to know.
I don't know, we gotta ask Cess. He's the baby Jaime. He passed on. Funny story about my godfather, though. I have to go.
I want to hear it.
My mother used to tell me, "Que burra eres." I was in high school.
I said, oh yeah.
I was in high school, and I took the number 12 bus home. And at Lincoln, I must have been a sophomore in high school. Took the number 12, and at Lincoln High School, stopped. People got off. People got on. Or maybe no. It was when they picked me up when I got on the bus. People would get on, people would get off, and I kept looking at this man. I think, God, why do man look so familiar? I kept going. Now, remember, my godfather lived in Nogales, Sonora.
Why would he? Yeah.
Why would he be in Los Angeles, Lincoln Heights? So at Lincoln High School, he got off of the bus. And the funny thing is that, God bless my godfather, he looked at me and I looked at him, and he's getting off the bus. He was looking at me and I was looking at him. And then I got home. And my uncle was not the typical looking, my godfather was not the typical looking man, right? So I got home and I said, Mom, I saw this man on the bus look just like my Nino. And my mother said, I always say my mother said, but she said, ¿Cómo que?
What'd she say?
What she said later on when he called her that night and said, Comadre, aquí estoy en Los Ángeles. Y ahora
I saw my goddaughter and she's
vi a
not
una
criada.
muchacha que se parecía tanto a mi ahijada.
For those of you who don't speak Spanish.
I want to know where he went.
Say,
Got off at Lincoln
Yeah,
High
why
School.
did he have at Lincoln High School?
I thought you were going to say he walked to the house. He
Yeah,
made it to the house.
I was he beat you to the house.
No, didn't walk to the house, but he saw this young lady that looked just like his granddaughter.
So you were
My mother would say, when I told her, because I was like flabbergasted. Later on, I'd say, pues si era tu Nino.
Oh my gosh.
How would you know?
How would I know?
You know what that reminds me of? It reminds me of this one time when, no, I never went to that camp. I went to Peace Camp.
Oh, me too. Shout out.
This one time where we were at Lincoln Park and with my Aunt Jeannie, and Lisa was playing, speaking of seeing your relative in public.
Sacred Heart?
No, she was playing softball. Yeah.
Softball,
Sacred Heart. And if you know my Uncle Willie, love my Uncle
We
Willie.
brought him up in another episode.
Love my Uncle Willie.
Yeah.
He walks all over
Good
El
guy.
Sereno, Lincoln Heights. But, he's a character. One time I saw him walking through, when I was taking child development classes at East LA College with a samurai sword, walking through the halls.
Hey.
And I was like, oh gosh. But he came up to us at the park one time and was like, had all these gadgets on him and all these weapons. And he was like, hey guys, I mean, Jeannie just do it. She doesn't know. She's just doing her job. Like, don't get near that man. And I'm like, he's my uncle.
Don't talk to him.
Don't talk to that man.
Don't look.
Yeah.
Thank God.
Let's see. I mean, we covered everything.
We did. Yeah.
This is fun for me.
Yeah, I was gonna
We're so grateful that you guys came on, that you're willing to tell your story.
Yeah, well, we'll see what remarks you get. So
Yes.
Who are those two crazy ass ladies?
Mm-mm, mm-mm.
No, they're gonna love it. They're gonna want you guys to come back.
They're going to want you back, and I think you should be back. Is there anything else that you want to add? Anything that's about this particular subject that is important to you or that you want to
You got
share?
the mouse. You got the.
We got it all. We got it all.
all.
I think one thing that's important that I think about this is also we always have to talk about Nana because she's our North
Mhm.
Star. And I remember bringing these things up with her before, and she's like, I don't believe in that.
Yeah.
Yo no creo en tonterías. Yo nomás creo en Dios.
Mhm.
And I feel like, I know it's scary and all these scary things have happened and it is spooky and that lady's spooky. But I also really felt safe at Grandma's house because she was always, you know what? God's going to protect us no matter
For
what.
sure.
Yeah.
So I thank you guys for coming.
Yeah. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being our second and third hosts.
Yeah.
Woo woo.
You're welcome. It was fun.
And can I just put it out there and say happy birthday, Stephanie?
Thank
Yeah,
you.
yeah.
I'm going to be 42 years young.
We'll paint it. What is it? Picture this. In 1982.
Oh, wow.
She was head down, ready to come.
Oh,
That's
in.
scary.
That's scary.
And that day, taking a shower, my stomach went brrr, and she flipped. This girl came out breech.
But it was, I almost died.
You did.
Can you imagine
did.
the world without
Hell
me?
no. Lucky that
Can you
your
imagine?
parents would not be here.
No,
I know. You'd have to do this podcast with someone else.
I probably would have never. So, you were like, I had the idea, and then you're like, we're doing this.
We're doing
And
it.
then
You couldn't have done it with the psychedelic.
No. I mean, I could have. But yeah.
Well, you guys are doing awesome, and with that, thank you for having us.
We're so glad you're here. So thank you so much for coming. Thank you for giving our podcast a listen as usual. Our listeners keep going up and we keep getting great feedback and we're so grateful for you. No, we'll do it in the next one. But we have a special message that we received and we'll share it in the next episode that made us both cry.
Oh yeah.
But so tune into the next one so you can hear it. It's a really special. We are so excited. We got our first email.
Yeah.
And it was a doozy. It was a good one.
Oh,
So don't tune in so you can hear it in the next episode. But thank you so much for listening, and don't forget to subscribe to La Vida Entre Primas, Life Between Cousins, so you never miss an episode. Until then, take care of yourselves, take care of each other. Thank you for listening, and we will see you in the next episode of La Vida Entre Primas, Life Between Cousins.
Yay.